everyone, my name is Joe. Welcome to What's in the Tube, where it's our show here on Action X, where we review things in the world of television, whether that is doing episode by episode breakdown of each and every episode of a brand new show currently on the air, or doing these season by season reviews where we review shows that have seasons, and I want to talk about one in a completed fashion, which is not spoiler edition, if that makes any sense. If you clicked on the video, you know we're talking about The Rookie season 5. It just came out. The full season is currently available on Hulu, so you can go check it out right now, whether before, during, somehow, or even after this video, just to see how your opinions are, because of course it's very important for you to form your own opinion besides my own. So The Rookie season 5 was wrapped up on ABC a couple weeks ago. It wrapped a pretty long season, mind you. It was I will say quickly, a really great season. And honestly, again, like I would really just highly enjoy it. But again, this is a non-spoiler review, so if you have yet to see the completed 5th season of The Rookie, here you go. You can go in with this. Like, I will only be spoiling things in the first episode capacity, so anything beyond episode 1 will be left to the imagination of, like, you know, go watching yourself. I won't be touching it. Everything on first episode, everything that was in the premiere, I will talk about just to set up the mood for the season. And that's really about it, mind you, so to speak, really. And but yeah, again, there's no major spoilers. You know, a lot of the things that happened this season I won't be talking about, and you know, so you can go into this with a good mind that you won't get spoiled. I will do my best not to spoil it, because sometimes I get really enamored. Especially this is one of my favorite shows that is currently airing right now, so to speak. So to get to the first question, the very first important question is: is this season worth the binge? Was season 5 in its completed fashion worth the binge? And honestly, once again, yes, it's a guaranteed yes. I could easily have, you know, taken a whole week off and not even a whole week, maybe like 3 days, and just binge the whole thing, basically almost in one sitting. I could have done that, and I would definitely do that, you know, sometime down the road again. But in all honesty, like, this season once again proved the power of The Rookie, the power of the fan base, and what the writers and the team, the creative team behind it, can do when you have such a positive energy of support going into it. Where, you know, before I started season 5 in our episode by episode case, when we were reviewing each and every week as it came out, I had rewatched the first season again to kind of give it, like, you know, I skipped that season over when I started this show, my review show. So I never got to talk about it. So I went back to it to kind of, like, you know, finish off loose ends. And then going into season 5, there are so many things that I noticed they're paying homage to, giving either a reference or homages or tributes, or bringing back characters, or bringing back just a reference or two. And it was, you know, the symbolic nature of, like, you know, The Rookie. Okay, realistically, it's going to hit half a decade next year, because this is how, you know, the math and timetables work. But it's been 5 seasons, like 5 full seasons of television. That's like half a decade's worth of content there, and, you know, a half a decade of their lives they put into this show. And come to speak of it, you know, it's just, you know, profound of, like, you know, it's not every day nowadays that a show goes into, you know, even a 2nd season or a 3rd season, hell, even a 4th season. Most days now, now shows are ending at season 4s because contracts and money. But for it to hit season 5, which is not, like, the higher you climb, the harder it is, you know, to keep going, because, you know, it's not just, you know, in the renewal standpoint, in the sense of, like, you know, keeping things fresh, keeping things going. And the position that The Rookie is that ever since day 1, we knew the expectations of, like, you know, how the show was going to go, where, like, the show will always focus on a rookie. And yes, our titular character, John Nolan, in a sense, will always be a rookie. Whether he is going to be a rookie training officer, a rookie P2 officer, and in this season embarking on his next rookie adventure, it keeps things going, keep things fresh, you know, with him dealing with it with new challenges. And of course, similar to, like, a lot of other procedurals, or, like, you know, stuff based on, like, you know, a ladder system, where there is always, you know, new fresh blood, which we kind of started that off, you know, last season, and it definitely continues into this season, where it just keeps the engagement up, it keeps it going. And, you know, it's very hard to find a show that in a 5th season can still have a very strong, a very vocal fan base. mind you, and yes, I'm even talking about like the shippers. Of course, when we get deeper into this, it was all of that that has made a show so successful to the point where like they got moved out of like the dark hours because on ABC they go for 3 hours a day with content. It was always at the 10 o'clock showing for majority of its run. This season it went to like prime time 8 p.m., which I'm like, that is such a big accomplishment for a show that's like middle of its run. Normally, you kind of settle into one time slot, and that's it. That's it for your entire run, and then maybe you're gonna move if like something else pops in. But in fact, it got a promotion. Is like, oh my god! And in the demos, like I keep praising the show now, but like it just proves to shows that this season proves that The Rookie. It's like why it gets better with every season, and this season, for sure, like it gets into a rhythm. It gets into like this like not a formula basically, but like you already know this world, you already know what to expect of it, but it's just the character, and the characters with every season manages to keep me more and more engaged to what is next. What is going to be the next conflict? What is their next story arc? What is going to be the next thing that's going to push them forward into where they need to go, however that may be. But yeah, to kind of resolve question number one, I really would say this show is worth the binge. The season's worth the binge, so to speak. To go to a little bit deeper, mind you, again talking about episode one. That said, I won't be going anything beyond that. Is that this season definitely? I similar before I said it doesn't become formulaic. It definitely kind of it pushes the bar of like the characters that and love are getting to that like the mature stage where like when we started season one, they were novice. They were very much were trying to figure out their bearings in this new environment, as already meeting like the high brass already, and how do we get these characters to kind of like line up, so to speak. Last season was kind of like just the beginning of the definition, in my opinion. But this season, like once again, like ironed it out. Like this entire group is a family. They're like so closely knit together, whether it's one thing or another, that the other officers they don't have that semblance of a bond and everything. Mind you, and they always like that's kind of like the message. Like I've seen in almost every episode where like once in a while they'll cross over, but it doesn't feel like they're co-workers. It feels like it's their family members. And I hate to use the fast family approach, but like yeah, they are a family. They very much are a family. And that's one of the things I appreciate out the season, where like that was kind of like the theme, going to they're staying together, with all the changes in the world, so to speak, and especially with this season being like the big thing, when we wrapped up season 4, people were like, "Oh my god, it finally happened!" After 4 seasons, even me, my stupid guesses back in episode 1 when I was watching it by myself, I was like, "Yeah, they'll probably hook up at some point, or maybe they'll hook up here," and they never did, and now here we are, season 5. It happened. Well, officially for sure. Yeah, Chenford finally happened. The Chen and Bradford, and that was like kind of like the big thing that was like really elevating the season, because like the fans were like so it was they were waiting. They were like stewing. They were waiting for this one thing to happen, and it did, and they had a whole season's worth of a storyline with them. Which I guess that's like a mild spoiler, but like yeah, you kind of assume like it was gonna be a one and done episode. Like no, you don't want to piss off fans, but like teasing something at the end of one season and going into the next season and completely resolving it in one episode, you really don't want to do that. I'm not looking at you, Flash and Flashpoint. So for me, like getting into it, like when we kickstarted that premiere, where it was kind of like a little bit tame, mind you, but like it was just like the authentic, the world was gonna change. Not like like a seismic factor, like where like everyone was so shocked and everything, but definitely it was something that okay, this is going to change the game. This is going to like change certain dynamics and like bring in new avenues for story directions and where things could go. And I will appreciate they don't go things traditionally. They take their time. They took 4 seasons to get to that one kiss. You imagine this season, like they're gonna be patient. They're still not gonna rush everything just for the sake of like fans are finally gonna get what they want. But like it's guys, you guys were never gonna get another minus point. You guys weren't gonna get everything you want in one season. I mean, come on, the show's got a season 6 on the way next year. So I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to be patient on that. Like, you got the golden goose. Now, if you want the golden eggs, you gotta really, be a little bit more patient about it. Mind you. But yeah, but not to say like that only that one story was like the whole thing going through. What I can't talk about from last time is that like again like this show really honors more of like continuing things from the past and going forward in like a bold new direction, or going with like these avenues like to really put the pedal on like the show and their characters, so to speak, when it comes with their villain output, with their the storylines they're doing, for all the new conflicts, the new positions they have to handle in life for everything. And it's kind of hard to talk about it because it is very minute in its core a procedural show where like a lot of the things like can happen in real life that they just kind of take inspiration from and do their own spin on it. And without getting into much into spoiler territory, is that this season was more about growing themselves. They were just trying to grow into the next thing logically, because they've already been through so much change in the last 4 seasons alone. This season was more like maturing. It was more like we're really like strengthening the characters like current roots and making them like kind of like how you are when you grow up. Like like for me, like I could say like I'm a much more strengthened version of the guy I was starting out to be 2 years ago. Like I've definitely changed in a good direction, but not like something that like makes me look drastically different anymore. Just someone that like feels like yeah, this is who I am. This is my core. Like kind of deal with it, mind you. But going into the character specifically, just to kind of like reiterate what I talk about, and again, I won't get into spoilers again. I kind of have to keep mentioning because like I really don't want to spoil anything for y'all, because these 22 episodes were like, it was great. It was very fun to watch. Starting off with our primo boy John Nolan. I feel like he was the prime example, like what I said before. Like John doesn't really mature in like a much more like big step time. It's more like incremental steps, where like he will get a brand new outlook at being a police officer. Let's say he will have his own experiences of something that he had to deal with in a different direction back in season 1, and definitely him like trying just finally being like not so fluctuated, because like again like when we first started the season, John was new to LA. He was figuring out, what is this new life for myself, what do I have to really do, and how does he continue exploring that. All those aspects are gone because he's figured out who he was. It's been 2-3 years since that starting point, and now he's he's got I forgot to get it. He has Bailey, the new woman in his life, which is hopefully here to stay forever. Then you have, his position in the LAPD, which is now very much strengthened, and like, he's one of like the reliable, there's a joke this season, like later on, where like Chen says something that like makes me roll my eyes a little bit, but like, he's part of like the top brass now. He's like, he's someone that like, people know about, like, cause he's had so much experience, not just being the oldest rookie to join the team, but also he has so much, incidences and events that occur to him that like usually a lot of officers don't even get like one of them, and he got a lot of them, or like all those experiences made him who he is now. And now it's just like him like just maturing, like finally being able to like be in that position where he's finally able to give the wisdom that he learned. And to be fair, he's still learning, mind you. He's not perfect. I don't think John Nolan will ever be perfect, mind you. He raised an entire son, but he's still figuring out new things on the fly. And that's just the charm with his characters. Like, as much as we'll never probably see him like really like, learn something drastically new anymore, him just like maturing into like, this like, dad goals mold, that's I'll call it, is just something that I appreciate him to see out of him this season. And, it still just labels down like Nathan Fillion is one of my favorite actors in the business right now. So I'm like, that's great to see. Moving on to Chen, when like I can't talk about Chen without Bradford synonymously, where like, Chen this season like really got to go into like a whole new direction, mind you, and it felt like there was like core down Chen was still figuring out herself in her career, mind you, and it's one of those, she this season's goal, for not goal but like ideology out of her was like you don't really get to like and I know people are going to say, well, like, no, you shouldn't depend on someone else for you to become who you're really meant to be. Like, I'm not trying to say that at all. Like, I still believe in that. But she managed to, like, unlock more of her full potential when she is with Bradford. And I won't spoil what happened with him this season, but, like, you could probably guess already what happens. But, they fulfill each other in a way, not in that innuendo way, but like seriously personality wise. Ever since the first season, like they've always kind of like made them grow a little bit within each other in a way that like not even the other TL rookie pairings had. Their relationship was special, which made the fan base so synonymous with them. And this season once again proves that like yes, they are still making each other the best version that they can be, whether they're together or not together. It just makes them much more better people, and makes them makes them a much more better pairing as a result of it, mind you. I will say there was like a little, besides that aspect, there was a little bit of an inconsistency with Chen in terms of like in her work direction. Let's say that much. There wasn't really much of like and again, I will say they kind of rectified that a little bit later down the road, but it was very much at times like, are you still doing this? Is this still what you want to do? Because like I'm a little confused because if we focus a lot of time on this, we didn't really get any much like action based upon it. And out to Bradford, where like Bradford again going back to like what I said before, like seeing season 1 Bradford to season 5 Bradford, as much as they're both like hard asses that we love, they're two very different characters. He definitely not. I won't say softened up. I won't say that. I will say he very much became a little bit more open. He became more open to the possibility of just not being this strict army dad, so to speak. At time, he is able to like grow and like be able to like figure things out a little bit differently. Look outside the box a little bit. Like give himself to be a little bit more vulnerable at times. But he's still the same old Bradford that we know and love. Deep down, like he's never going to change, mind you. But speaking of like deep down changes, you have Harper, who I will say a little bit, like not too much. She kind of got a little bit silent this season. Like then again, Harper has a lot of badass seasons this season. I'll say that much. She has a lot of badass seasons. But there is a case where like there have been times where like and again here's the thing I should remind you, my knowledge of the season is kind of a little bit limited because like again it's been a whole 8 months of watching it, and like like I remember more of the newer episodes than like the older, so pardon me if you mind, well, but like I do remember that Harper was more of like a supporting role this season where like she didn't really get a lot of starring moments. Mind you, she still was prevalent. She still very much made her voice and her impact felt. But definitely there were times where like she kind of like just was like helping out the other character, which is like fine when you have an ensemble show. Like there's going to be season where like you kind of have to like step back a little bit before you can step back up again, mind you, because we had her moments like in the last few seasons. This season was kind of like her settling down like that familiar life, that family life, mind you. She came a long way since we first saw her in season 2. Now all of that's being paid off, as always. Going to our partner Lopez and also Wesley, coincidentally, again they're parents, and they have, that doesn't mean they're done. Not only do they have to be parents in this very dangerous world, they also have to deal with a very dangerous person, which if you know from season 4, you already know who I'm talking about. But that person will rear its ugly head again, and it literally like it kind of kept me on a little bit on the edge of my seat. Definitely. That storyline, they were like, next to Nolan and our newbie, as well as Bradford, Chen and Bradford. That was like one of like the middle arcs that we like really simmered through, and like we really had to like concentrate over and just see how that was all going to develop, because you really didn't know. Like, I literally didn't know like what the hell was going to happen with that, and I was legitimately surprised, relieved, anxious, all the emotions, and that's kind of perfect for a television show to like express those emotions when like at times some don't really do that. And then you have going into like them just being parents, it's definitely a learning curve, mind you, and it's always amusing to see newcomer parent. And again, I'm not even a parent myself. I just like the aspect of like these adults stressing over like a newborn kid trying to be the best person they can. And then again, I am jinxing myself whenever I do have kids, whatever that is, mind you speaking. Then you have Gray, which again, Gray is always like the best, guy in the back, where like he's always like every time he's in his scene, oh man, he has a consistency factor. I would love more of Gray. We get something in a Gray this season, and I'm like, I need more of that. We need more Gray. I mean, I would pitch to anyone listening to me right now, like we need Gray to get his own episode. Like, you know, him being the chart, him being the, like, I want to see that. I don't know why. I'm just clamoring for more Gray, and that just means like he's just an amazing character. The actor who plays him is, you know, always, he knows exactly how to deliver his line and just be hilarious, serious, but it's still hilarious, mind you speaking. And as to our kind of like our still couple like newbies to like the rookie world, our rookie fam, we have Aaron, who had a big mark in season 4. However, as I said before, when it comes to ensemble pieces, you come into that notion of like their character at times will not be fully utilized, meaning that they won't get a moment to like really shine or anything. They're kind of like just supporting the main cast, and they do get there is moments where like they take center stage a little bit more often, but like there are more times out of 10 they're just helping out, so to speak. That is sadly Aaron's character this season. I will mention that he doesn't really get a major like consistent storyline. He's just normally there to help out someone else, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine for him to do. Like, I'm not really gonna like harken too much about it, but it's like you want to do your best to keep everyone engaged. Otherwise, that's why people would leave sometimes early, because they don't get the respect or the direction they deserve. That kind of happens. And then finally, we have, I won't say much because like this is a little bit later into the season, but we do have a new character joining us, a new rookie. All I will say is that her storyline was more engaging than Aaron's, in my opinion. I feel like I could just relate a little bit more, just maybe because it's just a heritage, mind you. And definitely her presence kind of like, elevates, our titular character a little bit more so, and definitely made a funny reference at the end of it all, which like I was not even expecting, but it is what it is on that point. But overall, like another factor that I have to consider overall with the season is that this season also harkened the rookie universe, because we got a spinoff with the Rookie Feds, which we'll talk about that more about that first season tomorrow. But what I will say about the rookie and the Rookie Feds is that the rookie did such a great job with kickstarting that that universe properly, when establishing that spinoff. But when it comes to like the crossovers, it's more hit or miss, mind you, in terms of like the crossover ideology. There's a difference between doing an episode doing an episode, so like making it its own, and then trying to like establish it in the larger universe. Like, those are two completely different beasts. And I will say, like, this season they didn't really take full advantage, mind you, on either ends of the show spectrum. So no blame there. But just to like kind of put an inch on it, like at the end of the day, like the Rookie season 5 was the prime example of like when a show reaches its perfect point, where the fans, the critics, everything is perfect for the show to like start to have that second life. Even though it never really like died out or anything, but like I was a little bit concerned because like the ratings do go down in time, but like this was the first time where like no, things are going up, and it's like shit. I'd never imagined it before. I would love to keep it going up. Like if you haven't watched The Rookie yet in general, please go check it out. Like, it's amazing. But going into its 5th season, it's just getting better. I never noticed the quality declining at all, and I just have a feeling that that this show's only going to get better and better the longer it goes on the air. Which reminds me, as much as I talk about the characters, the actors putting their heart and souls into them, again, it would not be nothing without the writers and the creative team. So please support your writers, and please to the I forgot what the organization is that's against WGA right now, but please, they are the lifeblood. They are like creative minds are the foundation for everything. You screw that up, half of your stuff will be crap. So please don't screw that up. Please support them. But yeah, but for me overall, at the end of the day, like the Rookie season 5, it's amazing. It's well worth the binge, and I highly recommend. Like, if you haven't seen it yet, please go watch it. It's all there right now, and you have all the time to do it because season 6 doesn't come out to 2024, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. But like that's just the world right now, everyone. And so you have a whole 6 months or straight to watch season 5, and even rewatch The Rookie again. So go check it out right there. But I believe that's gonna do it for me today, everyone. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this entire season of Rookie if you've seen it already. What were your thoughts on season 5 overall? I would love to have a discussion with you down below. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So otherwise, this has been Joe here from ActionX, from What's in the Two, reviewing the 5th season of The Rookie in a non-spoiler fashion. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's in the Two besides our Rookie reviews, currently we're doing Rookie Feds reviews and Walker reviews each and every week, so go check them out. Next week, in a couple weeks, we're starting back up our Nancy Drew reviews again. I'm very excited for that again. on the other side of things, if you don't care about the rookies, sad to say, like I mentioned before, this marks the end of our content rollout for the rookie. This year has been 25 rookie videos. 25. We've done a season 1 review, every episode review for the rookie season 5. And then also we did our season 6 predictions video, which came out last week, and now we have this review, mind you. So I love talking about the rookie. I talked about the rookie for half a year, and I'm very happy about it. I would never criticize that at any point in my future. But this is where we take a break, a very long break. We will not return until 2024 when the rookie season 6 starts up, because today ABC announced that it will not come back till mid-season. January 2024 is going to be a long way away, but guess what? When the rookie does come back, and they will only come back when the writers get what they really deserve, which again, please support them right now. You know, I want a rookie to come back. I want these writers to like get the fair share, the praise, getting, their safety back in this industry. I want that all. Please support them. This isn't a money thing. I don't give a damn about the money. I want the rookie to remain the same quality as it. You keep them damn writers. You keep that dream team alive. Do not ruin that. You do not. But yeah. Anywho, once again, so we will return next year with more reviews for the rookie. But for now, that's all she wrote for this year. It's gonna be a long 7 months. It's gonna be a long 7 months. Who knows how things are gonna be in 2024? I mean, we'll be close to Captain America: New World Order. Anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Ring the bell for notification when our next video is live. Like, favorite, share if you want to, and follow us on social media. But again, thank you so much for your support. For everyone in the Rookie Nation, enjoy the rest of your 2023. I'm gonna miss y'all. It's gonna be a long 7 months away. But when we do come back, there will be more. There's gonna be bells. There's gonna be more sirens, more craziness, only on the rookie. But until next time. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.